Hey guys, we are in day 162 in our Bible reading plan, starting a new book of the Bible. I think it's book number 17, and we are in 1 Corinthians 1 to 3, and Proverbs 6, the first 10 verses. 1 Corinthians could have been written for us. Basically, the church was going through some difficulties. Paul had started the church in Corinth during his second missionary journey. Now he's on his third missionary journey, and Chloe, in verse 11, we're told Chloe had written to him to tell him there's problems in the church, and the problems are like ours. Like, people are comparing themselves to one another. They're going, I follow this preacher versus I follow that one, and would you believe, he has so many more followers than you, etc. So they're going through these tensions, and also there was a big sexual sin, we'll find out later in the book of Corinthians. And so Paul addresses so many gray areas in the Christian life and how to address them in this book. Church structure, it's a really instructive book, very inspirational, very foundational to your faith. So I love both Corinthians. He wrote them at different times, by the way, but here in 1 Corinthians, he starts by introducing himself, reminding people that grace and peace is ours. And then I love this. There's so many highlights in this section, but God is faithful, by whom you are called into the fellowship of his Son. Your calling, your primary calling, is to the fellowship of Christ's Son, Jesus. And then he goes through and he just it's just so strong and powerful when it comes to divisions in the church. He's like, some of you say I follow Apollos, I follow Cephas, I follow Christ. He says, is Christ divided? Was Paul crucified? He says he's thankful he didn't even baptize that many people, because he points back to always the cross. That's our power. We are not wise, but God is wise. Even the wisest of us fails in comparison to God. And so the reading in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, the second half, is so powerful to remind us, like, when you talk about God and witness, and you don't have to be the smartest, you just have to rely on the power of God, the Holy Spirit. I see this happen every time I go speaking somewhere. Like, I only know so much, but the Spirit of God comes and works through me, and it's his wisdom. It's not my ideas, it's his wisdom that are the power in our life. And so if you're afraid right now in a season in your life of what to say, how to say it, remember that it is God who chooses what is foolish in the world to confound the wise. And then you get into chapter 2, a reminder that those who are Christ can see things and understand things that those who are not do not. It's not a point of specialty. It's not like you're special because you're Christ, although you are special because you're Christ, but it's because Christ's Spirit is in you, and he gives you a spirit of discernment. I love the reminder in chapter 2, verse 9. What no eye has seen, nor ear heard, nor the heart of man imagined, what God has prepared for those who love him. A reiteration of what is in Isaiah 64. So encouraging. And ask for the Lord to reveal to you things that you cannot see. And then chapter 3 again goes back to this idea that, look, God is the one who gives growth. Like, you can't say, look at this church, look at this pastor, look how many baptism. Great, but it's God who's given the growth. And so it's so encouraging for those of us whose ministries may be smaller, or whose impact may be unseen, or you might be living in a place where I'm not making a difference. Listen, you're part of the equation, you're part of the story, because it's God who's giving the growth. So remember, we are a temple of the Holy Spirit. Our bodies are not ours. We're called into his fellowship and to do works that are greater than what we can imagine, not because of who we are, but because of who he is. Here's the final big idea. While divisions in the church are not new, neither is the power of the Holy Spirit to heal and unite the family of God. I hope you're part of the family. Love you guys.